can all candidates comment on their experience with restorative justice and how that will or already does play into their practice of law or their practice? And here we go, full circle, Karen, then Andy, and then Joe.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize this question would be following. So as I've shared with all of you, I have done a lot of work in the area of restorative justice. I really believe that sometimes there are so many more ways that we can address problems than maybe evident at first blush. One of the things that I enjoy most about my work is, yes, this is the lowest level state court, but we have the discretion to create these kinds of programs, which is just tremendous, I think. When I was speaking to you all about the program that I've created with Mothers Against Drunk Driving and having youth offenders for underage drinking attend these victim impact panels, I asked them to write a reflection about the experience of attending. And I have a stack literally high, just this high in my chambers. I've kept all of these essays. You can literally sometimes see the tears that someone who was writing, the tears falling when they realize that they hear from Linda Spizzato, an incredible mother who lost her daughter a week before the daughter was supposed to start school at St. Joe's, and how the family couldn't eat a family dinner for 2 years because they couldn't bear the sight of the empty seat at the table. So I think that sending underage drinkers to a program like these victim impact panels is so much more powerful and more compelling than paying a fine. And so I'm really very proud of that. And I think restorative justice programs are just an excellent way for us to keep young offenders, and sometimes older people as well, older adults, out of the criminal justice system. So that they don't go down a path that has such difficult consequences for them down the road. And instead, we can address a problem, we can help our community at the same time. So I'm very, very proud and pleased to have these programs and to continue working with them.
Andy, to you.
Well, our system really generally offers a judge two alternatives. Have the guy pay a bribe, a fine to be done with what he did, or put him in jail, which is so boring to people, so alienating, especially if they have a job. Just a disaster. And you talk about restorative justice for kids. All I remember is, when I was in high school and middle school, some of the kids who were so advanced to get themselves, in trouble with the substances the older kids had, these kids became the most successful people I know. And it's ironic. It's not necessarily a huge alarm if somebody young gets caught with something they're not old enough to consume. And I think there's a huge overreaction to that. You got to look at the kid and what kind of path he's on. So I don't have any experience in restorative justice, I guess only with my children who have been pretty successful at playing their advantages. So I'm not very good at it.
Joe?
Thank you. So restorative justice is one of the areas of great opportunity for district judges to do good within the community. I've worked with clients. Well, first of all, let me say restorative justice, what we're calling restorative justice or alternative disposition of criminal charges. This is something that is authorized by law. Every district judge can do this. Court of Common Pleas judges can do this in certain types of cases. And I've helped people get into these programs. At times, it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's a beautiful thing to see people get an opportunity when they've made a mistake And that can happen at any age, but yeah, more often with young people, I think. It's a beautiful thing to see them have that opportunity to learn from their experience, to move forward, correct course, and go on with their lives without being marred by a conviction on their record. So I see this as something I'd really like to be working on as a judge. Obviously, the only person here who can say that she's done restorative justice programming is Judge Zucker. But that's only by virtue of the fact that 17 years ago, the Democratic Committee decided to select her for this position. And she's done the job for 17 years. It's time for a fresh perspective for the benefit of Lower Merion. Thank you.